Hi guys. Hey, we're going to hop through this volunteer training real quick for your petition booklets that you have and gathering signatures and doing circulation. Okay, we're going to cover how to collect signatures properly, what's required, some tips and tricks, how to be organized, and then, some do's and don'ts. Okay. So for gathering signatures, we do need to gather 413,000 plus valid signatures in 90 days. Okay. Now that's valid signatures. Typically and historically, Board of Elections will disqualify anywhere from 30 to 40% signatures. So if we only have 413,000 and they disqualify 40%, then we will fall short. So we are aiming to collect almost 700,000 signatures. That should cover the percentage that they typically will invalidate. Okay. So it's very, very important that we're collecting valid signatures. Now, we're going to talk about that. Okay. So let's cover first what that means and where that number comes from. Okay. So in Ohio, the total number of signatures on a petition must equal at least 10% of the total vote cast for the office of governor at the last gubernatorial election. Okay. So that means the last election that we had for governor, the number of votes cast in that election, we have to have at least 10% of that vote. But that's not the only thing. Okay. Those signatures must come from at least half of our counties. So 44 of 88 counties have to have signatures. Okay. And in those 44 counties, those signatures must equal 5% of the vote cast for that county. Okay. So there is a link there if you would like to look at that chart and see where you stand for your county. You can. Also, if you shoot me a message for whatever, if that reason that link doesn't work, I will send it to you. I'm probably also going to upload it in the comments so you can look and see where you stand. Okay. So remember, 5% for your county, but the whole state needs a total of 10%. Okay. So when you go out gathering signatures, some things you should be prepared for and take with you. Okay. Obviously, petition booklets. Take extra booklets because you never know. You need one county per booklet. So if you are gathering in Hamilton County, you need all of your signatures to go in one Hamilton County. But say you have Greene County, okay, someone from Greene County wants to sign it, then you need to start a brand new booklet just for Greene County. Okay, counties must be separated. Take clipboards with you. It's easier. Blue and black pens only, not pretty blue pens, not turquoise, not light blue, not baby blue, not sky blue. Blue and black pens. They are very, very particular about this, and that will give them a reason to invalidate a signature if you are using anything other than a blue or black pen. Okay. Take the sheet of talking points with you. Make sure you familiarize yourself with some of those points because people are going to ask you questions. They're not just going to blindly sign stuff. Some people do, but most people don't. They want to know why, how, where, all of that. Okay. I can also upload some QR codes. So what we like to do here in our area is we print those QR codes on sticker sheets and we stick them on our clipboard. So that way if someone says, oh, I don't know if I'm registered to vote, we can just scan the QR code, takes us right to that registration page, and we can check and look for their registration. Okay. You can also print blank voter registration forms right from the Board of Elections website. And anybody can update their address. So if they've moved, if they've changed their last name, if they haven't registered before, they can register. Now, when you fill out or have someone fill out a voter registration form, you have 10 days to turn that into your Board of Elections. Now, if someone lives in a different county than you, you don't have to send that voter registration form to that county. You can take it right to your Board of Elections. They will handle it from there, okay? But you have 10 days from the date that it's signed. If not, it becomes invalid, and then your signature is invalid, okay? So if you have voter registration forms, take them up and turn them in as soon as you possibly can. You can also mail them, okay? You don't have to turn them in person. You can also put them in the mailbox, but do it ASAP, okay? Now, you can also have that person fill out their voter registration online. We highly recommend that if they do that, then you make sure that they walk through the whole process and they actually get registered. If they fill out a form, we encourage you to keep that form, okay, and turn it in yourself. We have found that if the person filling out that form says, well, I'll just turn it in, 99% of the time, they do not turn it in, okay? They forget, they get sidetracked, life happens. But if you keep that voter registration form, then you know that it's going to get turned in, okay? So let's talk about parts of a booklet real quick. So this first part, the very first page where it says initiative petition, this talks about the language and what they're changing. Okay, so that is the new language that is being submitted. Okay, at the top is a number, leave it blank. County, leave it blank until you get ready to turn it in. Okay, you want to keep these booklets as pristine as possible. If a booklet is messy, if you spill coffee on it, if it's torn, they could disqualify the entire booklet. Okay, they are very, very picky and particular. Any reason for them to disqualify booklets or signatures, they will do. The next couple pages, this particular booklet has 5 pages for signatures with 5 to a page, and they are numbered 1, 2, 3, all the way to 25. You must have your people sign in order by date. If you skip a whole page, you cannot go back and fill it in because those dates that you are collecting and sign, they must be in chronological order. Okay, so if you end up skipping a whole page, it's fine. It happens. Don't panic. Don't rip it out. Don't whatever. Just contact your lead if you're not certain, and we will instruct you what to do from there. But typically what we do is we're going to cross out that whole page. Okay, it just happens. Things, trust me, things happen. Okay. Now, in this part, we want to guide people, okay? So when someone says, I would like to sign the petition to prevent data centers from building in Ohio over 25 watts or kilowatts, I say, okay, great. What county are you registered to vote in? Okay, that does one of two things. That prompts them that, I have to be a registered voter, okay? And then it makes them think, if I've moved, have I updated my address? Okay, so you'll catch a couple of things there, and then they can tell you, I'm registered in Franklin County. Great, you pull out your Franklin County booklet, and you put it in front of them. And I always say, we want to write very legibly. You want to use your full legal government name. If your name is Kim or Kimberly, we don't write Kim, you write Kimberly, okay? Each box there is going to ask for a specific piece of information. So first name in one box, last name in a separate box, and then down at the end is the middle initial if they use one. The second line is a street address. Cannot put any P.O. boxes on that line. It has to be their physical house address. The next line is going to be their city, their whatever their registration, their mailing address is. And then the next box is county. Now, people will get on autopilot and want to write in there Ohio because that's the way it goes. It goes city, state, zip code, right? That is the county line because they already should be a registered Ohio voter. So it's not going to ask what state they live in because it's already expected of them that they are an Ohio resident. So that is going to be county. What we do here with our volunteers is we have people, once you get signatures in a booklet, and we know that that's a Franklin County booklet, then you're going to go ahead and write Franklin in every single one of those county boxes for the whole booklet, which you can do, okay? Anybody can fill out that printed information, the name, last name, address, zip codes, city. Anybody can fill out that as long as it's legible. The only thing you cannot fill out is the signature box, okay? The person signing the petition, that has to be their signature, and it has to match their voter registration, okay? So typically, however they sign their legal name, their voter registration, their driver's license, anything like that is how they're going to want to sign this box, okay? Because that's what the Board of Elections is going to be looking for, that signature matches their registration, okay? And then date it. And make sure your dates are in chronological order. If they are not, then what happens? They become invalidated. So, chronological order. So I always say, I guide them. First name goes here, last name goes here, the next line, once they get there, they're writing. Once they get there, okay, go ahead and put your street address here, actual street address, no P.O. boxes. The next line is going to be your city. Obviously, I've got your county filled in there, so you can skip that box, and then your zip code. Now, ward and precinct, you're going to leave that blank. Tell everybody. Leave that blank, because they're going to look at you like they don't know what that means, and they don't. Most people don't know what ward or precinct they live in for voting. Leave it blank. The Board of Elections will fill that in for you, okay? They will do that. And then I say sign and date, and today is April 4th, 2026. I say it out loud, so that way they write the correct date, okay? Before anybody walks away, I just kind of glance quickly at it and make sure that there's a signature and a date on it, okay? Now, we're going to get to, in a couple pages, what happens if they make a mistake, because we don't want to scribble any parts out, and we don't want to use any whiteout or correction ink, anything like that, okay? And we're going to get to that in just a minute. So the last page of your booklet is your statement of circulator. Do not fill this out until you are all done with a booklet and you're ready to turn it in, okay? So you're going to write I, Billy Joe Green, whatever your name is there, declare blah, blah, blah. You're going to go through and count how many signatures, valid signatures in your book you have. Don't count any ones that are crossed out. Only count the ones that are complete, actual, full boxes, okay? And take your time counting. I would rather have you put a number that is 1 or 2 high or 1 or 2 low, because if it's too low, then they will only take that many signatures, even if you have more than that in the book, okay? So make sure that number is correct. The very next line, when it says, I am employed to circulate the petition, you're going to leave that blank, because you are not a paid circulator. You're not collecting money to gather signatures, okay? So you're going to leave that blank. And then you're going to go down, you're going to sign your name, you're going to sign your address, and again, not a P.O. box, physical street address on that line, and then city, next line, state, and then zip code, okay? Now here on this part, it does ask you for your state, because you do not have to be an Ohio resident to gather signatures for an Ohio petition, okay? You do have to be 18 or older, but you do not have to be an Ohio resident or registered to vote in Ohio, okay? Now we talked about this, 1 county, 1 circulator for a booklet. You cannot leave your booklet unattended, so don't take it to work, throw it on the break table, and just let people sign it. That booklet will then become invalidated, because you have to witness every single signature in that book. That's what you signed off on, or what you will be signing off on this page, is that you witnessed every single signature happening in that book, okay? So don't leave your booklet unattended, okay? You have to witness each signature, and do not fill out your own petition booklet. Find someone else with petitions and sign someone else's booklet. If you sign your own petition booklet, it voids and invalidates the entire booklet. So do not do that, okay? And you cannot say, well, I've got, I'm from Franklin County and I got a booklet with one signature from Lucas County, and I'll never get another, Lucas County signature. So I'm going to send this to whoever lives in Lucas County. You cannot do that. Okay. Hang on to that booklet because you honestly never know. Okay. We have tons of booklets that have handfuls of signatures in them, but at events, someone will say, well, I don't live in this county. I'm from, Cuyahoga County. You know what? I've got Cuyahoga because I've got 2 signatures from another event that someone was from Cuyahoga. So hang on to those. You have to keep those booklets and sign off on them. Okay. So this is the box, right, that we're going to fill in and talk about it. So the address where the person is currently registered to vote. If they're not sure, look it up. Go to Voter Lookup, Ohio, and that'll take you right to the page. You put their first and their last name in, and it'll pop up. It'll tell you if they're registered to vote and the address that they're signed. Now, if it doesn't pop up, that means they're not registered to vote. So get them to fill out a voter registration form, okay? It has to be legible. If the person at the Board of Elections cannot read it, they will invalidate it, okay? In blue or black pen. So like I said earlier, guide them as they write, right? First name in this first box, last name in this last box. And I tell them each box that you fill out is going to ask you for one specific piece of information. That's all they want in that box. Okay. Leave ward and precinct blank. And then I say the date out loud so that way the person signing, doesn't put the incorrect date in there. Now, okay, here's what we do if they do it incorrectly. So you can see here, they wrote this, they were writing it backwards. So they went to cross it out. Okay. What we do is we put one simple line through the incorrect area. We don't scribble it all out. Okay. And then they put their initials very small. And we want initials small and kind of up out of the way so that way the person reading it from the Board of Elections doesn't assume that it's part of their name. Because if they assume that it's part of their name, they're going to invalidate it because it's not going to be part of their name legally. Does that make sense? Okay. No whiteout. We don't want this. Now, if the whole thing, they make too many mistakes, we're going to cross out the entire box just like this. Not the entire page, just that one box, and then have them start in a brand new box. It's not worth the risk of it being invalidated because of mistakes. So see, this person here wrote their last name in the first box, but it should have been over here. So they crossed it out, and then, she had moved, so she forgot she was going to put her other address, so she started crossing it out. And at that point, we're just going to start over. Okay, so we're going to put an X through the whole box, and it needs to be their legal name. So the other thing she did is she wrote her middle name here, and it should have just been her middle initial. Okay, you can be picky on this, and you have to be picky on this, because otherwise it will be invalidated and it won't count anyway. Okay. So a lot of this we've already talked about. Sign it as it's on the registration of their license, no P.O. boxes. Use the address that matches their current voter registration if they've moved to make sure they update their voter registration. Okay. Signers cannot sign for other people, not even a spouse. Okay. Not even a spouse. They can fill out the name, address, city, zip code, that whole top section, but they must sign and date the boxes on their own handwriting. Okay, so I know we do that for a lot of elderly people who have shaky hands, or we know that they're going to be illegible, or they tell us, my handwriting is really messy, I have shaky hands. We will fill their name and address in for them, and then they sign. Okay. If they say, oh, I signed this once, but I moved, perfect. Have them update their voter registration and then have them sign it again. Okay. So the other thing is you cannot take those 8 pages apart. Once they're printed and stapled, do not take them apart. Don't tear them. Don't rip out pages. Don't scribble on them. Don't write on them. Don't check your pen on them. Keep your petition booklets pristine. Okay, the entire petition booklet must be turned in, not just the signature pages. Okay, we want people to write out the whole thing. Okay, Columbus instead of C-Bus, Youngstown instead of Yo or Y-Town. Okay, if they don't write in the whole thing, sometimes it's okay, because the Board of Elections, especially the ones in that area, because these petition booklets are sent back to the county that they're signed in. And so those people filling out or checking these registrations will know that C-Bus is Columbus, but it's risky because they don't have to accept it. Okay. So we really need someone to write in the whole name of their city. Okay. Whoops, skipped my page. Like I said, you can fill out everything except the signature line. You should be pre-filling in the county box, so that way you're grabbing the correct petition booklet, because sometimes people will get jump the gun and just want to fill a booklet out and move on because they're busy. But if they grab a booklet and they see, oh, that's not my county, I need one for my county, that will stop them from typically filling in an incorrect box on your booklet. Okay. Dates should be sequential and in order. Okay. Again, don't mark or scribble in the booklet anywhere. No whiteout, no X's, no check marks, nothing. Okay. When counting the total number of signatures at the back on the very last page where you fill that out, accuracy is best, but mistakes happen. Okay. Do not include the crossed out numbers, and a slight under and overcount will not void a booklet. Okay, so just make sure you're just taking your time and doing your best there. Okay, so this is that page again. Before you turn in, we're going to complete the statement of Circulator. If you've crossed out any blocks, we're not going to count them. Okay, be accurate and honest. The campaign will be checking on many details after submission and will follow up with you if needed. Return your petitions to who you got them from or your county lead. Okay, initial any corrections on this page. So if you make a mistake on your own address, the same rules apply. One line through it, initial it, and write the correct address. Okay. Petition addresses must match registration address, so encourage signers to update if they are unsure. We've talked about this. Okay, the signer can also check at voteohio.gov, but filling out a new paper form is best. Turn in the completed voter registration as quickly as possible within 10 days. Collection tip, okay, be physically proactive. Hold up your clipboard with signage. Maybe create a big poster board or something, if you're standing at a table or something. Smile, be welcoming, make eye contact, call out people, hey, have you heard about this petition we're gathering signatures for? Can I tell you about it? Don't try a hard sell, okay? Don't engage or waste time with someone who wants to debate. And then definitely, sometimes people will say, well, can I read the language? And that's that first page. You know what? Say absolutely. Here, read it. If you want to print extras of just that one page, you can, because then they can be reading it while other people can be signing the actual petition. So that way they're not taking that petition booklet and holding it up kind of hostage, right, while they read it. So people like to read what that amendment or that summary is going to say specifically. So always have clipboards with you, always have extra booklets, lots of pens, blue or black pens. We store county booklets alphabetically. Take a friend with you, take a buddy with you, right? Because it's easier, because one can be talking and answering questions. The other one can be sitting there with that clipboard and getting signatures, and you can do it as a tag team, okay? Dress comfortably, comfy shoes, take a coat, a sweater, a hat, whatever. Don't hesitate, right? Assume yes and hand over the petition booklet. Most people will sign it if you explain just what it is and what you're doing. So a lot of people have asked about where to collect signatures. You can go to protest rallies. You can do organized signature drive-throughs and other events, community events, right? Like festivals, farmers markets. Farmers markets are getting ready to open back up. The weather's breaking. Sporting events. You can stand outside theater and concerts. Bus stops, B&Vs. Libraries is another popular one outside on the sidewalk. Parks, you can do family gathering, right? They're the easiest ones to get first, your families, friends, neighbors. And you can go door to door with someone. Don't go by yourself. Again, take a friend with you and just knock on all the doors in your neighborhood, okay? You can gather and you can set up anywhere in public space. So on the sidewalk, in public parks, okay? As long as you are not prohibiting access, like on the sidewalk, you're not blocking the sidewalk where people can walk through, that's typically fine. Don't do it on public or private property. If you do, be sure to get permission. If you organize a drive-through event, do it somewhere that the parking lot or the place is supportive of what you're doing, because if they're going to support you, it's going to be easier for you to set that up, okay? Libraries are public. So again, you can set up outside on the library sidewalk, and as people enter, just think about busy places, right? We do a lot of what we call office hours, where we'll set up at a local coffee shop. We'll advertise it. We'll spread the word. Hey, we're going to be here at this coffee shop from 11 to 3 today, taking signatures for this petition, and you can go in, set at a table. As long as you buy something, coffee, muffin, whatever, most places don't care because you're a paying customer, okay? And people, as they're coming in, that just brings in more business for them as well. But if you're uncertain, just talk to the manager or the owner and double check. But most places, most local coffee houses, we've had success at Panera Bread, we've had success at Starbucks. Most of them are pretty cooperative, okay? And then make sure you reach out and ask about other ways to help. Right now, signature collection is going to be the most important job because we do need so many valid signatures, and we have 90 days to do it, okay? But share it, post about it, talk about it, keep putting it in front of people. So can you fill out a signature block in your own booklet? No, absolutely not. Fill out someone else's. Can you leave your booklet unattended? No, absolutely not. What if the person has recently moved? Update their voter registration so it'll match their signature and address in your petition booklet. Can you collect signatures from more than one county at once? Yes, absolutely, but each county must be in a separate booklet. So I hope that this helps you. If you have any questions, please do post them below, and I will hop on and try to answer as many as I can. We're going to try to plan a Zoom event as well to try to get people trained and questioned answers, but hopefully this will get you at least set up initially with a little bit of success and get you rolling and on out the door. Okay, so get out there and fill in those petition booklets.